I think really getting to know individual preferences is really important. Priorities, preferences, and being able to really work with those. So there's things where people are really strong, and there's things that they can do, but that it will drain them. And I think acknowledging those and trying to work to people's strengths and build that team where people are energized and that energy is maintained and not burnt up. So Perry Timms has got a great book about how you view your workforce like a battery, and you never want to get it to empty. You don't. HR often talks about discretionary effort. Actually, you want engagement, but you don't want to burn people out. So having a healthy team where people's strengths are utilised and is energised, that would be my takeaway.
One of the questions I was going to ask earlier that we didn't get around to in the show was we just had obviously World Mental Health Day, and not the last show we did, the show before last that we did was Let's Stop Burnout. And it's interesting, obviously Perry's a friend and has been on the show actually twice. He's one of the very few that's been on twice. But how you balance high performing teams with well-being, because sometimes it can mean that they're working extremely productive because they're working silly hours and doing everything else. So we didn't quite go into that one, but it's very interesting you kind of brought it up there at the end about how to do that without obviously overstepping that sort of line and making sure that people don't burn out doing that. So Liz, would you like to tell us what you consider the most important thing that you can do to create a high performing team?
I think of this not in disagreement at all, but complementary. I'm really a structuralist at heart. And so I think the first thing is to understand the work and to make sure that there's true clarity about the work and what needs to be accomplished. And then to be able to array the people once, as Lisa says, you've understood them, and to get their understanding and acceptance of what the work is, and to make sure you have a good match there. So that, as we said before, there is competence, because they can care about it a lot, but if they don't have the skills, it fails anyway. So I'll come at it from the work perspective, and that will give us perhaps a different leg to the stool. And maybe now Francisco can add the third.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. I was thinking about what you were saying. For me, is first, like Liz, understanding the work, knowing the goals, what that organization understands as high performing team or whatever. What are the goals, and adding objective data, right? For me, is to assess our teams, to knowing them better, approaching conversations with them to figure out what's going on there, what is happening, what are the hidden, streams there that are avoiding us to achieve the goal. And then we need to assess. We need to know what kind of behaviors are there, and then as a consequence, perhaps we have some people in the wrong position, and this is really common in some organizations. People that are not fitting their responsibilities or positions or whatever. And then if you move them, if you reorganize them a little bit, you can improve the things, right? And that's for me.